If you're like me and you own a pool, you have the problem with the very fine debris and dust settling at the bottom of the pool. And that's what I've got here. I own a very small pool. It's about 8 feet by 3 feet. Um, it's a stock tank pool. And you can see here the just a very fine dust and dirt that's settled at the bottom of the pool along these ridges. And now this is after my pump and my filtering system has been running for about an hour. And so you can see it's just not strong enough to filter out this very fine debris. I could run my vacuum over it, my pool vacuum, and it would suck it up, but then the debris would just go through the mesh filter and settle back in the pool. And if you've got a pool, you've had this problem. And so I saw a couple of YouTube videos on how to suck this debris up with a siphoning technique. And so I decided to come up with a way to do this for my pool. The videos that I saw on YouTube, the guy was using a garden hose, and it was a much bigger pool, and worked well. It's the siphoning process you use in the old days for getting gas out of a gas tank of a car. Now this is the tubing that I use. Instead of using a garden hose, I have this small tubing. It's probably a 1/4 inch or 3/8 inch tubing, and I just hook it up to anything I could find, and I just happen to have this shower curtain rod laying around, and you really don't need anything in particular. Just hook this up to it. And so that's what I'm going to do. Let me hook this up, and I'll show you what I'll do. And here's a picture of it after I've hooked it up. Just used Velcro to Velcro it to the end of it, and then have the rest of the hose just laying out on the deck. Okay, so here we are. I've got the hose Velcroed to the end of the curtain rod, and the hose in the one end of the hose in the water. And what I'm going to do is I have to get water up in this hose all the way through the hose, and just make sure there's no air pockets in here. And once you've done this, you just throw the end of the hose down on the ground, and then the beauty of the siphoning effect works. So I'm going to do this the old-fashioned way. I'm going to suck the water up through the hose with my mouth, and then throw it on the ground. And hopefully I won't get any water in my mouth. And that's why I like to use a clear hose, because I can see the water coming up through the hose, and put it down before I get any in my mouth. And it's really not a problem. There's different ways you can do this, but the idea is just to get all the air out of the hose and make sure the hose is full of water. And there you go. You see the water running out of the hose, and it's just sucking water out of the pool. All right, so now we're going to vacuum up the dust, and there you go. It's just simple siphoning effect. It's as it siphons up the water, it is also siphoning up the very fine dust in the pool, and it's running out with the water on the ground. As I said, there are a couple of YouTube videos that are showing this process already, but I just wanted something very, very simple. It's a very small pool, and a garden hose is really bigger than what I needed. A garden hose is hard to siphon up the water using the method I use, which is sucking up with your mouth. So I had this very small hose laying around, and just works real good for a small pool like this. And as I said, I know that this is a problem really for anyone that owns a pool, unless you have an expensive filtering system and vacuum system. that gets up this small debris, then it can be a problem. Um, and this will cost you less than $10. The hose that I have, this is just one I happen to have, but you can buy a 10-foot length of 3/8 inch clear flexible hose for about $7 at Home Depot or Lowe's. You can buy the Velcro strips, a package of 2-inch Velcro strips or 4-inch Velcro strips for a couple of bucks. So, and then hopefully you have some type of broom handle or a stick or anything laying around that you could Velcro the tubing to the stick, and this will work. A lot cheaper than trying to get a vacuum that will work to capture this very fine debris, and then much cheaper than getting a filtering system that will filter this out. So as you can see, it's getting up all of the dust, all of the fine sediment, and it's not putting it back into the pool. I'll run my system later, and all of this stuff will be gone. Pretty neat way to do it. And as I said, it costs you very little money, very little effort. And there you go. I think it looks pretty good. Hope this helps you for anybody that's got a small pool and just needs a way to get all this fine debris out of there. Okie doke. See you later.